Alright, here's a lesson for, what's her name, Brickster, on Jose Gonzalez crosses. The song is pretty depressing. I kind of had to spice it up with some Wu-Tang after listening to it. But it's a good song, and he's a really good guitar player, and I like his style, and I like that he's in the mainstream, because there's a lot of guitar players who play like he does, but you know, they just don't get any notoriety because they're single individual songwriters and they're not all fancy and doing all this stuff. But anyways, here's how you play it. I broke it into a few parts. So the first thing is you gotta do this weird tuning. This needs to be D and this needs to be F sharp. And he uses the same tuning on a lot of songs, I think, and I learned Heartbeats a long time ago. Uses the same tuning. I've never really seen that tuning before, but he seems to like it. It's kind of cool. So first thing, I put these little markers here. So 3, 5, 7, 9, because this guitar doesn't have any markers. So the first riff, you got to put your middle finger on 9 and your first finger on 8. And this shape is a little tricky when you first start learning the song, so really make sure that you're comfortable with that shape. Then if you've done classical guitar, this is going to be easy, but if you haven't, one of the worst habits you can do on guitar is put your thumb behind, picking like this. It's just really awkward. So what you want to do if you're starting to learn Jose Gonzalez songs, keep your thumb out in front. It feels like you're riding a bike. So what you're going to do is go hit the bass string, and then pluck the G and the B string. So just going to get that first, and make sure you watch your thumb. You can watch yourself in the mirror or look down at your hand and make sure that it's out in front. So you go the bass, and then you pluck those two strings, and then you hit the D string. So it's going to be, here's the main pattern. First I just get good at that. And also he doesn't hit the D string loud. It doesn't sound like... At the end of this video, I'm going to do a recording of the full thing, and I think sometimes I do that, but if you listen to the recording, you can... It's like real faint, so it's... One other point about the thumb is you want it to move from this joint, not from here. So it's like, it just comes out like that. It's awkward at first, but this is the way you do it. So that's the first shape. It's going to go... You're going to hit the bass note and then those notes again. That's just, that's it, just that. The next shape, you move your middle finger down to 7 and you put your third finger on 7 on the G string. And you're going to go. It's just going to happen once. It's going to be bass and then these two notes. And then right away, you're going to do the same shape on the 5th fret. So this last shape goes. You can follow along in the tab that I'm linking to, but you play the whole thing and then break it down one more time. So middle finger, the key is just to toggle these upper notes, but keeping your middle finger down on the lower string, so then it's a little easier to switch shapes. That down first. So this is 9/8. So it's bass, D string, bass on 7, and bass on 5, D string twice, bass, D string, and then back to the 7th fret. So play it one more time real slow. And the best way to learn anything on guitar is to use your ear. So I'll do this real slow. At the end of that, you go back to here, but this is one of the trickiest parts of the song. You're going to hold down 9/8. I did is I kept this finger on 8, then my third finger on 10, and then my pinky on 12. The reason I kept my first finger on 8 is just so I don't get lost and accidentally mess up. You don't have to keep it down, but... So thumb on bass, then you pluck with it on 8, then the D string with your thumb. This finger goes on 10, and this pinky goes on 12. And it happens pretty fast. It's possible to do this without holding this finger down. You could go like this. That makes me a little nervous because the song's fast and it's a little easier just to learn how to do it like this. There's the whole first part. So this is hard. I have to work on this getting up on my pinky. I'll do it one more time in the next part. That. And on the next part, he does a little transition where he just goes like this. He stays on 9 for a while. He adds some extra notes, but I just do this. And then you got to go to 2, and the thumb is going to change from the D to the G string. So, and these fingers are going to pluck the top 2 strings now instead of these 2. So. I like to just throw the D string and the bass note in randomly. He just kind of adds random stuff here, so I just kind of go. And then you can do this in the tab. They have 4/3. I find that too hard to do like fast while I'm playing, so I just do the 4th fret, the bass. So I just go. I just hit the top strings one more time, it sounds fine, then to this 5 shape again. If you really want, you can add 4/3 in there. I found when I was trying to actually play along, I just didn't get to this shape in time. So I just didn't bother with it, but if you really want to add it in, then you can. And if you want to add it in, it would be... I think it's better just to hit just the bass note and go over here. Here's this whole part. Do it again. And then you either go back to here after he does it the first time, or you go to the next part. So here's the third part of the song. You go on 9/8. This part, it's important to kind of not to change the volume on this part, to control the volume or the dynamics of how you're playing to make it sound more like the album. Kind of like these, you don't want to hit the D string too loud. So here first you hold down 9/8 and you go. Then right away you go. So this is 9/8. So first you do this the first time, then you go to 5/7. Then you go back to 9/8. 5/7. This is all on D G string. You do it again. 9/8. 5/7. Then you go to 4/3. And then 2/0. 9/8. This time you just go straight down from 5/7 to 4/3, 2/0, 9/8, 5/7, 4/3, 2/0. In case you're having trouble picking out the bass pattern by ear, it's then you hit the top 2 strings, then the bass, then the G string. You just practice it just on this shape, the 9/8 shape. these notes up on top are kind of quiet. It's the same pattern down. So another way to practice, just to first just get comfortable with these shapes. 9/8, 5/7, 4/3, 2/0. 9/8, 5/7, 4/3, 2/0. And that's it. That's the whole song. So I'm gonna just play along the whole thing, and if anyone has any questions how to do it, just send me a message and I can do a little lesson for that part. But one thing, I've been teaching guitar a long time, and to rely strictly on tab, like note for note, is kind of a bad habit. Because music is ultimately about your ear. So I ran into the same temptation where I was like obsessed with being exactly right about stuff. And when you're a beginner, or if something's hard, I mean, I still have the same temptation when I'm learning hard stuff to want to really like get every note right. But really, if you like love a song and you practice it a ton of times, you'll start to play it better each time, and just listening to it a lot. So hopefully I gave you enough info here, and through the tab you'll be able to figure it out. But if anyone has any questions, let me know. Alright, I'm going to try to play along to the whole song now, and the only advice I would give is that he has a very organic, sort of natural style of playing guitar. So you've really got to internalize like the main idea and then add on your own variations or listen to it a ton to get exactly what he's doing. There are enough tab resources to probably figure it out from there. But you also have to decide, do you want to just sort of have the essence of his song or exact note for note? So when I've learned some Jose Gonzalez songs, I don't really care if I play it note for note. I just want the main ideas, and then I play along with it to the point where it sounds like it enough to anyone who heard it. So I've only practiced this song a few times, but I'm going to go for it and see if I can play along. So I'm going to jump in, and here we go. I did an alright job there. I messed up on a few things. I messed up on sometimes not getting up on the tip of my pinky enough, because right here, pinky needs to get up high to get the B string to still ring out, and that's just the issue of practicing it more. So when you're practicing, you got to make sure you really get up on the tips of your fingers, or figure out another way to do it, which you could take this note G and put it on the... Actually, it's not G because of his tuning. This is F sharp. You could put it here instead on the 7th fret. Some tabs do that. So if you're having a hard time, I would still prefer this way, and would probably just prefer to spend more time making sure this sounded good than going the other route and having to play this chord like this. I don't like this. And then I would need to smooth out my transitions because I messed up a few times to make it sound real smooth. The other thing I messed up a lot the few times I was practicing it is remembering 4 and 3rd fret. So one time I accidentally went 5-4, and that's just from habit because I'm so used to playing a G major chord like this. But it's 4-3. So if I were to get better at this song, I would just make sure I had 9-8, 5-7, 4-3, because one time I went to 5-4. And also just getting the timing down on that slower part, I kind of missed the... you just gotta listen to it and play along enough if you're trying to do it along with the recording. If you're playing it by yourself and singing, you can just control the tempo however you want and not have to worry about it as much. And the last thing I would work on, that he's really one of the reasons why he's a good songwriter or guitar player, is because he changes the dynamics a lot. Like he builds up, and he doesn't just play everything the same volume. He changes the volume a lot. So I would also make sure just to practice it enough where I could kind of add that dimension to it. But aside from that, hopefully it was helpful to see me play it all the way through. And hopefully that you can use that to work on it and get it to the point that you're happy with it. So that's it. All right. Good luck. Bye.